Welcome. This is Selling Houston P.O.V. I'm Bernard. I have
Ebony Royal
and
Aisha Shelton
and a special guest,
Nicole Handy.
She got on her special guest shirt.
Nicole Handy.
You know I'm always gonna come with a little something.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he said that's awesome.
I was like, what is going on here?
I heard I was being a guest on the show today. I was like, oh, I gotta come with a little something. Give him a little.
I mean, she came with a lot of something, but it's looking real.
I was like, can we turn that down just a second?
No.
And we have so much the same taste. I have the same top, but I can wear it for like another year. Like, that's it.
Why? But and I told you I was wearing Just Be today.
I know.
You know, yeah.
It's so cute.
Did we mention Just Be before we had? Okay.
And earring.
Yeah.
Just Be. Earrings and top.
For the people that are catching up, what is Just
Support
Be?
Black businesses.
What is Just Be?
It is my online boutique that I own with my mother, and it is justbeonthernunway.com.
Oh,
Just Be on the Runway.
I like it.
If you want to cop Nicole's shirt, I think it's gone though.
Oh, I think yeah, we're sold out
for other hot fashionable stuff.
So a lot of moving factors here in the Houston market, or just overall, right?
Now you just want to jump in the business.
Let's get down to it. I mean, you guys took 1 minute and talked about the shirts, the top.
Yes.
Well, listen.
Well, I think we should at least take a moment to thank Nicole for coming on.
Oh, I thought we were going to do it then, but no problem. No problem.
I'm elated to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Okay.
Yeah. So Nicole, I mean, in case some of you don't know, Nicole actually is a part owner in the Braden Real Estate Group brokerage that we are all a part of. And she is also a top producer and has the Nicole Handy team. So we are very excited to have you on the set today.
Thank you.
We are.
I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I love this, guys. You know, this is what we say Braden Real Estate Group agents should be doing, right?
It's true.
Yes.
We are agents of the forefront, right? We are market experts and we let the world know it.
This small thing?
Let Bernard tell he'd be like,
it's just
my
a podcast.
Yes.
Have y'all seen me on my podcast?
Oh, my podcast.
Okay, but let's talk about how just a year ago, Bernard would not get on anybody's podcast, would not get in front of anybody's camera, would not talk to anybody, okay?
Like when? I don't know
lights. Lights? What lights? In front of Bernard's face?
I don't know. I do not know that person. I only know this one.
But let's be clear, this is where he needs to be.
Yes, exactly. But that attests to his growth, right? His growth and development, right? Yeah. And his growth as a leader in the industry, a top producing realtor, someone that looks beyond just the transaction.
Yes.
And now I demand a production. It must be a production.
Here we go. The monster we have created. Monster we have created.
You have created.
The monster, okay?
Yes.
Take all the credit.
I'm here for it.
Take all the credit. Yes. So you obviously have seen our podcast before, and this was a brainchild of all of us, and then we came together. So we're just going to shoot the shit. Can we cuss?
Yeah.
We shoot the shit.
Yes.
We're going to shoot the
shit. We have to mark that because
It's
okay.
No, they said that we can curse a little.
A little.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do like shit and damn, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just
say it 10 times. Yeah. Why don't you?
I think it's kind of like how many times you say it. And we're also going to give our point of view on the real estate market. So today, Bernard has a very interesting topic that we think that you might have something to weigh in on.
Yeah. First of all, let's just be clear. We all love real estate. That is an Aisha Shelton word. Aisha Shelton 2022. But what we want to discuss is, I want to discuss interest rates. How do y'all feel about those interest rates?
They up and stuck.
Like the prices, right?
Like the price. No, not up and stuck, seriously, but they are up. And with the current inflation rate, it doesn't look like they're going down anytime soon. So how do we deal with that? And I think people are getting anxiety, especially if they're buying a home, they're starting to freak out. specifically like clients that have been building a home. I sell a lot of high-end real estate. And so sometimes it takes a long time to build a house. No, I'm joking.
Right.
But no, seriously.
True.
That's true.
But seriously, when you get into, a certain capacity of home, those larger homes, it's not just a 3-4 month build. That's 8 to 10, and in some cases, a whole year build. Yeah. And so, a year ago, the rates were in the low 3s. Now we're seeing them as of today, April 7th, 2022, they are roughly almost 5%.
Absolutely.
So that is an impact on your mortgage payment. And so some people do have anxiety around that because they've planned their entire mortgage payment, financial situation based off a mortgage payment that was this a year ago, and it's no longer that. And the lenders are saying, well, it's really nothing we can do. The market rate is what the market rate is. Yeah. So now it's the conversation is, okay, how do we combat this?
Right. And just to, piggyback off of that. So a year ago, there wasn't an option to lock your rate in until 30 days before
30, 60-ish.
30, 60. Yeah. Some builders would lock at 30, 60. But in light of everything that's going on, some changes are happening. So they're starting to allow lock rates for between 6 and 12 months now, but that was not a thing last year.
But let's be clear that it's in most cases for an upfront cost.
Absolutely. Yes. It's not free.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not free. It's in most cases it's for an upfront cost. I have seen one lender allow you to tack it onto your closing costs at the end, but there is cost associated with that. And the good thing too, what I'm seeing though, is that upfront cost, in most cases, it's being refunded if you're denied for the loan. That's different if you change your mind. Those are two different things. It's not refundable if you just say, screw it, I don't want the house anymore. But if you're truly denied, then it's refundable. And then also, but it is credited to you back at closing. So and I kind of look at it as like an extra earnest money, additional earnest deposit, but it's not technically earnest money because earnest money is associated with the home. So I guess this is like the lender's
earnest.
The lender's good faith deposit. We'll call it that. The lender's good faith deposit. But there's a fee associated with it, but in most cases.
Right. But at least it's an option.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing I'm seeing, and we used to be like, ooh, that's a bad word in mortgage lending, right? But ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages.
Absolutely.
We just talked about that I guess it was the beginning of this year, or at the end of last year. Do you think ARMs will come back? Do you remember us having that conversation?
Yeah. Well, they never went away.
Not go away. It will become an ideal product again. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was once a time where it was an ideal product. Yeah. And here we are again in a space where an ARM's starting to make sense.
Yeah. And I agree. It's starting to make sense. And just being honest, I looked at his ARM as like you don't do that, right? I looked at the ARM as like, no, you don't do that. You get a fixed rate mortgage. That's what I tell all my clients. You better make sure your rate is fixed.
I think we're all guilty of that over the last since 2008.
Yeah, but I have in this market, I have learned ARMs can make a lot of sense. Yep. But you have to be smart and strategic with your ARM. And the people where we saw a lot of foreclosures and things like that in 2008, because one, people weren't educated.
That's right.
They did not know truly what an ARM was. They just saw a lower interest rate. Okay, so back up really quick.
That's what I was going to ask. What is the interest rate?
Yeah, with an ARM, you tend to see a lower interest rate than against the standard market rate. Mm-hmm. But they have terms on them.
Back up further than that.
Okay.
Not everybody might not know what an ARM is. We're throwing around this acronym.
Adjustable rate mortgage. Adjustable rate mortgage.
How does that product usually work?
So how it works is you have a fixed rate for a period of time. And then once that time ends, your mortgage rate can be adjusted. Can change.
Based on the market rate, right?
I don't know what it's based on, honestly, but we call it balloon.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So some people that's gotten other loans before have used the term balloon. Yeah. And I think maybe using that term and comparing it. So it's like a balloon payment. After a certain amount of time, it blows up to something different.
But here's the thing. It's villainized. It's not that bad of a product. Right. If you know what you're doing and if it's a strategy that you're trying to achieve. So it's important that you get educated on all of the products to see what's a good fit for you. Because honestly, you can get an ARM, take advantage of that lower than normal interest rate, refinance right before your ARM is about to balloon, and then get whatever that interest rate is currently.
And guess what I heard? You can refinance into another ARM.
You can.
So crazy. Yeah, you can. Yes, so the ARM rates,
and a lot of savvy people
in real estate use arms and have used them for the test of time.
Right.
I do have an arm on one of my rental properties.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
just makes sense. In some cases, it just makes sense. And they just. But so for the people out there, the long terms on an arm, they vary. I've seen 7-year, 8-year, 9-year, 10-year arms. I think the longest I have seen is 10 years. Really, has anybody seen longer than 10 years? No. And I'm not a mortgage lender. Okay. I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you based off of my experience, what I've seen. So the longest I've seen is about 10 years. But so basically it means that if you have a 10-year arm at that 10-year mark, once your 10 years expire, you can still have that loan, but your interest rate is going to change and in most cases go up substantially higher. Mm-hmm. And because your interest rate has a direct impact on your mortgage payment, that means your mortgage payment is going to go up substantially higher as well. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, savvy people in real estate, what I'm seeing is that they are, like she said, using it to get a lower rate, pay down, borrow money for cheaper over a certain period of time. Yep. Then they just refinance, they sell the property. If you don't plan on keeping the property for 10 years, why not get a lower rate?
That's what I was thinking. So if this is not your forever home and you only plan on being here 5 to 6 years, lock in on a 10-year arm.
Yep.
And then leave, go bye-bye. You never even have to refinance.
Right.
Just
and then we do know historically when rates rise to this level, they will go back down. Right. So people will have opportunities to refinance.
When though? We don't know.
But see, and
we don't know when.
But there's clues.
Yeah.
There's clues.
Yeah,
History definitely repeats itself and we know what happens. It does this. And then at some point it's going to do this. And so historically speaking, you can tell about when that market correction usually happens. We still have, a couple of years to clean up, but it's coming.
But I want to ask this. Is now still a good time to buy real estate?
The best time to buy real estate was 5 years ago.
That's right.
The best time to buy real estate will be 5 years from now. Like literally today is the best time to buy it. And if you wait, then the best time would have been behind you.
You said something about investment. You're investing, you paid today's price is tomorrow investment?
Yeah. So I stole this from our good friend Ryan Sarhant at one of our
he's awesome.
Sorry, at one
I
of
hope
our
he watches our podcast. Ebony would love it actually.
at a conference we went to, but he basically said that today's premium is a discount for the future.
That's right,
and it absolutely is. People think like, oh, I'm paying historically high prices today. You are, But 5 years from now, that'll be the new historically high price.
Yeah.
So
I was on the phone with Mama B this morning.
Oh,
y'all.
we love Mama B.
Yeah. And Mama B was saying how she was sitting out. She was like, I'm just getting so educated in the real estate market.
Okay, Mama
And so
B.
your dad and I we were having a conversation, and she said, I was telling him, we were reflecting back. And when we bought our house for $43,000 at a 9% interest rate.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
So it's like, in retrospect, it's like, it's still low.
Yeah.
It is.
Even though prices are high, but so is, people are making more money.
That's right.
Yeah.
13% in the 90s, I think it was. This is still considerably lower than it has been in the past. That's why I feel like it's so important to know the market today, but also know market trends too, so that you can explain to your clientele, yes, this is higher than it was a year or 2 or 3 ago, but mortgage rates used to look like this. A $300,000 home will cost so much more money than it does today, comparatively speaking. So we have to give our clientele that perspective too.
But you know what hurts that perspective, honestly, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, is our older generation. Because I've had so many clients that have been brought to tears by their parents and grandparents when it comes down to the mortgage prices and home prices, because they're not educated on what it is today. They bought their house 25 and 30 years ago. So it's a true sticker shock when they see, oh my God, this home costs so much.
Okay, let's be clear. Let's set some records straight, because I think we need
set
to
it
do
straight
that.
then.
Sure, let's set it straight.
Set it straight. Does your grandma have a real estate license?
Oh.
I'm just saying. Isn't that what we want to say? We're not talking to anybody in particular.
But no, that's so true.
That's true,
That's
though.
true,
How
though.
many times
That's
do our
true.
clients be like, well, my family said or my mom said it's not a good time. And then I have to bring it all back. And I'm like, so what do they own? How many investments do they have? Like, talk to us because we're experts, right?
I've had people say, I'm not doing this. My parents say this is not a good deal, and come back to me 3 years later and be like, why in the heck did I listen to them? Because now I can't even afford the house.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And we can only, but I'm with her. Do your grandma have a real estate license? Has she been doing this for years?
Is she in the market right now?
Because if she did, she would tell you to buy.
Exactly.
Buy now.
Exactly.
Buy now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's one thing we have to overcome. Like, they're sticker shock, but they hadn't bought a property in 30 years, that now they're looking to retire. And they're like, my parents, for example, in my opinion, have a sizable home for just the two of them. Right. And then, they're in their 60s and they have stairs, which they never go up. So I had to have the conversation with my parents, like, hey, my dad is like, we're going to buy a new home. We're going to sell this. And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. They bought the house on my 15th birthday. On my 15th birthday, they bought the house on my 15th birthday. I will never forget when we moved in. That's when we got our brand new home, right? And so just roughly the home is like 2,800 square feet, and they paid like $140 for it with like a 8% interest rate, right? And so, I'm like, I know you want a much smaller home, but you're going to cash out on all the money that you make on this home. Like, if you want to pay cash for your next home, you're going to cash out on all the money that you make on this home and go buy a much smaller home, get a fraction of what you have now. So, I mean, just keep the stairs and just don't go upstairs. Right. Like if they would have told me something like, hey, I want to retire on a lake, we don't really care about the house. We care about the other aspects around the house. Then maybe that's different. Right. But I can't, I've
But
struggled.
they were just trying to swap.
Right. They're just like, we want a smaller home. Like, I'm going to tell you.
Now they're going to watch the video and
you're
talk about we want to live
you're
on a
going to
lake.
get, for what you cash out on your home, you're going to get a substantially smaller home that you're probably not going to be happy with because you've lived with so much space for so long, and so they don't see that. My dad thinks that he's saving an abundance of money by cashing out and going to buy a new home. But he hasn't bought a home in 27 years. So he has no clue what the home prices look like today. He's not a realtor. He's not online checking to see what it is.
Unless not a realtor.
Girl, no.
Is your daddy a realtor?
But no, he's not. So he has no clue. He's totally blind to what's happening in the market today because he has no real estate need at this moment, right?
That's right.
Yeah, he has no real estate need. So, but other than I want a smaller house because we're getting old and we don't need all this house. But yeah, you just stay where you are. You're gonna get a whole lot less for what you think you're gonna get, and then they're gonna be pissed off about that. So
yeah, is it a good time to buy? I guess we can really say it depends, and you should give one of us a call.
Right,
that's right.
To decide, like, to have the conversation, because everybody's situation is different. I mean, we just heard about you and your family situation, right? Where you're saying, hey, it's not a good time for you to buy. So it really just depends on what you have going on, what your goals are, what you need, what your dreams are, and can we make that happen? Yeah. And if that's not today, sense,
right.
So let's talk about this too, because I'm getting a lot of this not my dream home. I can't see myself living here forever. It's just not what I was expecting.
Why do you want to purchase? Why you want to purchase your dream home and you 30 years old?
That's what I was thinking. I'd be scratching my head. I'm like, I want to say this right. I want to respond correctly.
Buy your dream. I just want to buy. No, it's the forever home. It's the when they use
forever.
the home. I want my forever home.
So this is a good lesson, and we all have experience with this for the agents who watch our podcast, because I imagine people other than agents watch our podcast, but a lot of agents watch our podcast too, right? Yeah. So how do you successfully, I'd like to hear how each one of you successfully overcome this subjection. And I know we're being real funny right now, so we're talking smack. But how do you overcome this subjection?
So finish your point.
Well, for me, it's changing the mindset, right?
Yep.
It's the mindset. It's the mindset of not material, but ownership.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Ownership, not only of ownership, but ownership of an appreciating asset.
That's right.
Ownership of something that's going to grow value.
Preach, sister.
Ownership of something that's going to put money back in your pocket.
Preach.
It baffles me that people will go get these beautiful luxury apartments right? And just be like, no, I want to stay in an apartment, screw a house. Again, do what works for you. But I always give advice off what I would do, and what works for me is the equity growth, the return on my investment. So how I overcome it is exactly that. I'm changing your mindset. Let's speak from an investment. I don't care if you buy an investment property, your primary property, any piece of property you buy, you should look at it as this is an investment.
That's right.
And I learned that with my first rental property. I learned that with my first primary property.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Every property that I've been able to buy, move up in is from the profits and the equity gain of the property I had before that.
Absolutely.
And it just keeps rolling.
And so I always tell them, don't think of this as your forever home. Think of this as your investment home to get your next home or your forever home. Now, being frank, I don't think I'll ever be, I'll always, I could never have my dream home because I'm always want something big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what was it? What's the Keeping Matters,
Keeping Current Matters.
Keeping Current Matters said that within the next 5 years, someone who purchases a home in January of this year will gain an average of $95,000 worth of equity in their home. Like, where you gonna save $95,000 in 5 years?
Exactly. It's the best return on investment ever, number one. Number two, it's the cheapest money you'll ever borrow.
Yes.
Okay? It is the cheapest money you ever borrow.
Even at 5%.
Exactly. It is the cheapest money you ever borrow.
I got me a 5% locked in last year.
Hello.
And I am proud of that 5%.
And look, back then we were talking about that's high.
Right.
We were saying
I said, this is fine.
Yeah. But you have an appreciating asset.
That's right.
That has grown substantially in value in just 1 year. The 1 year that you've owned it,
that's right.
You walked into it with equity.
And don't live in it.
Hello. But I'm just saying, even if you don't look at it, this is, I got to live it. Look at it, this is my return this is an investment and I'm looking for a return.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the same people that are paying the $2,000 for the apartment or $2,500 for the nice luxury apartment also has $1,000 car note. Like, invest, but they want a forever home. Invest in a residence.
Or they don't have any savings.
Or have no savings.
Okay.
But they have the best of the best.
Yes.
We have to have this Miss Emile conversation all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's like, there she go. I hear her in the office. I'm like, there she go again.
I call it the Miss Emile because some people get caught up too in, my mortgage payment is not what I want it to be. It's $200, $300 more than I want to spend. And I get that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in nobody's pockets but my own, right? But let's look at some of the lifestyle adjustments that you can make for your investment, right? Are you willing to walk away on a mortgage payment that has changed $100, $200, where you're gonna, this is your investment, where you're gonna get a return, a much greater return than the $100 that you didn't go out to eat that month?
Yeah, and we are not our ancestors. We do not stay in the same house for 40 years.
No.
30 years. You will move an average of about 3 to 5
years
times in
and
your
I
lifetime.
don't care what you say, you will move.
Yes, you will.
You just will.
Your family will grow, or your family will, shrink. You'll have less kids. You'll have more kids. You'll get married. Like this is just a starting point. And making people realize, like you said, changing mindset, making people realize that this is just where you're starting. And even some people's starter is $600,000, and that's great.
I wish my life can start that way.
Right. There may be somebody.
Shout out to my client that just bought his, and it's so nice, and it's his first home, but it was a sacrifice for him, and he didn't want to go up that high. Yeah. But it was the home that he liked. He realized, we're at the showing, and I'm pulling out my calculator. Right, I'm not a take my word for it, I'm a show you person.
Yeah.
You let's look at your return on investment. Let's look at how fast the home rates are climbing. Let's look at this compared to the other homes that's under contract. And then let's also look at the best price per square foot.
That's right.
Right.
We're going to look at it all. So
I can already guess the building.
Pulling out my calculator, and it just made sense for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he realizes it's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
And he closed on the lower end of the spectrum. So all those other homes that's closing after his, 2-3 months down the line after his, they are already $40,000, $50,000 higher.
He walked in with
exactly. He walked in
with a dip.
Walked in with lean. Walked in.
Amen,
That's funny.
Amen.
That's really exciting. I mean, we keep hearing the doom and gloom in the news about the real estate market and if you should be moving or doing things. And doing real estate, and you should. I think
I agree, and it's not about the paycheck for us. It's really like I get a thrive out of assisting and helping people.
So in what instance do you think you shouldn't do it? Is there any instance in this market where you think you shouldn't do it?
Or what have we heard? Let's go with that.
What have we heard?
Well, interest rates are too high. I'm just going to wait on it to drop, or I'll wait on the market to crash. What the heck does that mean? That's what I've heard.
Well, you know what? Oh,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, you still have a lot of people that's like trying to flip homes and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I personally think you shouldn't do it if those numbers don't make sense.
That's
you
right.
know, because you're buying properties now, you're buying at a premium.
That's right.
People are buying properties sight unseen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got an offer in my inbox today with a proof of funds of $4 million cash in the bank. You know, pick one. Let me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you are one of those investors that do not have a substantial amount of cash and you might be trying to start your flipping investing business, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying don't be desperate.
That's right.
This market.
So
Right.
there
Let
was
your numbers lead.
Still, lead by the numbers.
By
Still
the
make sure the numbers make sense.
Yep.
Don't do it just because it's a cool thing to do right now. You know?
And so do you guys know that that's part of the strategy behind raising these interest rates is to squeeze some of the investors out of the market and slow down the inflation?
Interesting.
That is the whole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a community up in New Caney where there's really affordable houses, like 5 bedrooms for like under $300,000.
Yeah.
And there was an investor
Where?
who canceled the contract on 10 homes because of the interest rate.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good
So
one.
that's part of why they're raising it. They're trying to slow down that inflation and push out these investors.
Very interesting.
Mm,
Very
it is.
interesting. But let's not forget, there are still deals out here. Not those kind of deals, and they're not on the market.
Right.
So
you
off
got
market
to find
deals.
them. But like I
They're
said,
not on
don't
the
be
market.
desperate. Don't shop the market. If you're looking for a deal on the market, that deal is represented by a realtor.
That's right.
So what does that mean? They're going to have their clients'
Built-in.
best interest in mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and their best interest is to, in most cases, get them the highest dollar possible.
That's right.
You know, and so I think a lot of people get that wrong too. They call me, "Hey, show me where the deal's at." My definition of a deal and your definition of a deal it might
Completely
be a
different.
different deal.
Also, I don't do that.
Yeah, so
that part. I was just going to say.
look, so I don't do that. Look, I don't do that.
That ain't me.
Don't call me and ask me where to take you where the deals are. I don't do that.
I don't do that. But I mean, it's going to be a good deal for my clientele, but it's certainly not going to be a good deal. It ain't going to be one of them deals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents.
Yes. I think this has been an awesome conversation.
I think so too. I
Likewise.
really appreciate Nicole coming to drop some knowledge about, just overall interest rates and your whole thought process of the real estate
Thank you.
market.
Will you come back?
Absolutely.
How about in the next 3 minutes?
So we'd love to have you on our next show if you could be so
Absolutely,
kind
guys.
to record
what
with
we
us.
talking about on the next show?
I can't tell you.
Okay,
They
okay.
must join the next show.
You're right.
All right. So guys, stay tuned. This is Selling Houston P.O.V.